This is one of the dumbest Last of Us 2 defenses I've ever heard, and it pretty much sums up why I dislike the Last of Us 2 fan base so much.
Last of Us Part 2 is actually a really good game. People just hated on it because their favorite character died and or didn't like that the protagonists were strong women. Oh, hallelujah. Yes. Why am I doing that? I recently went through Last of Us Part 2 again, and now that I kind of know what to expect by playing as Abby for like half the game, I think it made it a lot easier to get through. I love that game. It's really, really good. It got leaked early. People saw that Joel died early. Then when he actually died in the game, people just used that to get mad. They didn't like strong women. They don't like a lesbian relationship. They don't like
Banjo-Kazooie.
They don't like trans people. Beating people into a pulp and chopping heads off and gutting people, that's all totally fine.
That's from a YouTuber called Jacksepticeye. I have no idea what kind of content he really makes. I'm not familiar with him. I hear he's like one of those rich, well-off YouTubers. But my goodness, that was the most retarded strawman defense I've ever heard in my entire life. And he said that unironically. Okay, so people hate the game because the main character died. Where was all the hate for Red Dead Redemption 1? Where was all the hate for Red Dead Redemption 2? Those are games that have the main character die at the end, and he dies a pretty unfair death. Or where was the hate for Final Fantasy VII Crisis Core? That's one of the most popular Final Fantasy games ever. You know, it ends with Zack dying, and, you know, he doesn't even, like, get a peaceful death or anything like that. Like, where was all the hate for those games? There are games out there where the main character gets killed off and a lot of people still love it. The reason why people hate The Last of Us 2 for killing off Joel is because Joel's death felt very lazy and stupid. You know, having Joel just magically trust strangers with guns. You know, I know that Joel lived in a safe environment for a few years, but a safe environment for a few years doesn't erase 20 years worth of trauma and PTSD from surviving in a zombie apocalypse. Like, Joel was way smarter in the first game. Secondly, gamers hate The Last of Us 2 because it has strong women. Jack, that's the most retarded thing I've ever heard. Gamers hating strong women. Where's all the hate for Samus from Metroid? Where's all the hate for Bayonetta? Where's all the hate for Lara Croft from Tomb Raider? Like, where's all the hate for Fire Emblem or Persona? Those are game franchises that are full of strong women who can fight and kick ass. It's not that gamers hate strong women. It's just that characters like Abby are very poorly written and also just very uninteresting. It doesn't help that Abby doesn't ever say anything interesting or unique at all, and the game wants you to try and relate to her. This crazy, emotionally manipulative murderer. Like, no. I've seen way better, strong female characters in other games. And again, to bring up Red Dead Redemption, that game also has strong female characters in it. Nobody complained about that game. It's almost as if the games I mentioned are just way better written or something like that. And about The Last of Us 2 having a transgender allegory, I mean, do I really need to see that in a zombie survival horror game? Like, that's the weird thing about The Last of Us 2. It has a bunch of weird messages that don't really align with the game. Like, you know, getting lectured about Judaism or having a transgender narrative allegory. Do I really want to see that in my zombie game? I see that enough on the news or at my local college campus. I don't need to see it in a zombie survival game. Where was all that political talk in the first game? You know? And I'm sorry for making so many Last of Us 2 related videos. The thing is, I'm a very passionate Last of Us 1 fan. I love the first game, and to see it ruined by such a horrible narrative, it hurts. You know, I actually wanted a Last of Us 2 sequel, and the story was just horrible. It has a bunch of weirdo political messages in it. Like, the first game felt like a genuine survival horror game where the characters, you know, talked realistically. And part 2 just feels like someone's weirdo fan fiction where the female characters are just pregnant and there's transgender and Jewish messages all throughout the game. It, man, I'm sorry. Well, no, I'm not sorry. I'm gonna rightfully hate the game. And the thing is, you might be wondering, well, the game is old. Why are you still talking about it? Well, I mean, Batman's almost 100 years old. It came out in the 1930s. People still talk about Batman. Are people just not allowed to talk about old stuff anymore? Like, some of the worst Star Wars movies ever are also pretty old, and people still talk about those. Like, why is it okay to remember something fondly that's old, but when you talk about something old in a negative way, suddenly it's like, oh, rent free. You shouldn't. You should just let it go. Like, fuck off. You have no real passion if you think like that. Gamers hating strong women. Like, get the fuck out of here. This game I'm playing, Xenoblade Chronicles, like that game. This game also has strong, independent women too, and nobody hates the game because there's women in it. Like, I feel like when people say that you hate a game because it has a woman character, I feel like that's just projection right there. Nobody hates a game for having a woman in it, and if you think that unironically, you're just very slow-minded. You have a very idiotic way of thinking.